ṣé wọ́n ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àyíká wa gbogbo ara mọ̀ pé àyíká wa ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní tó sì ń sọ fún oníkálukú àmọ́ ṣe ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ a tún ti kúrò ní ti ọ̀rọ̀ àyíká ẹ jẹ́ ká bójú wo òfin ní kò pẹ́ yìí ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo pinnu pé òfin kan láwà tá a ṣe o kí ni òfin yìí ẹni bá jí ni gbé ẹni tọ̀hún òun náà wọ́n á jí gbé sọ́run nípasẹ̀ òfin ìtumọ̀ rẹ̀ ni pé ẹni bá ti jí ni gbé ó ti kọlu òfin pé apànìyàn ni ẹni bá sì pànìyàn ó di dandan kí a pa ẹni bá sì mójú ògún òun ní òbí nírè ẹni tí ó bá yé nǹkan ẹ̀jẹ̀ ó jayé o ògbóná gbòǹgbò tó ń dátọ́ lẹ́nu ògbín ní ti olófilé Rẹ́mi
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni,
kalẹ̀.
we have in our midst a guest who will be talking about what you just mentioned, that's talking about the legal limbo of capital punishment in Nigeria. That's talking about death sentenced. That's Barrister AJAYI ADETILOYE. I guess I'm right in the pronunciation.
Thank you so
It's
much.
nice having you with us.
Same here.
Amòfin Àjàyí
Ẹ
Adétilóyè mo kí yín dénúdénú ìbéèrè kan kékeré máa béèrè kó tó rí pé àbẹ̀ tí mo láwọn ìbéèrè kí ló ń lò fún wa.
Òfin jẹ́ nǹkan tí a pinnu pọ̀ pé báyìí la ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣe. Ọ̀rọ̀ àjọṣepọ̀, ọ̀rọ̀ àjọkúpọ̀, ọ̀rọ̀ tí a jọ fi ohun kan sọ pé nǹkan báyìí la ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣe òfin.
Ó ti dòfin.
Ó ti di mú mi.
Ó dá òfin kan ṣẹ̀ jáde mo fẹ́ ká fi Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀ káwọn ní fìtìfìtì tó gbà mọ́ni lọ́wọ́ nù. Òfin yìí pé ẹni jí ni gbé ó ti ṣẹ̀ sófin ikú kí ni ọ̀rẹ́ kí ni wọ́n àríwísí nílẹ̀.
Lóòótọ́ ni ìgbà tí gómìnà wa wò pé tá a bá wo àyíká wa lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà àti tá a bá wo ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo State a rí i pé wọ́n jí ni gbé lẹ́nu wọ́n jí ni gbé lọ́la ó ti jẹ́ nǹkan tí ó dàbí omi tá a mu ó ti wá dàbí omi tá a mu àtijọ́ à ń sọ pé olè ló jíyàn gbé ó ti wá dàbí pé ajínigbé báyìí ó ti di òwò tí àwọn kan tí wọ́n ti wọnú ẹ̀ pé òwò eléyìí ló tún pé ó ti yàtọ̀ sí àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó lóyìnbó ń pè ní white collar job eléyìí tí wá dàbẹ́ ni pé professional job èyí wọ́n á jí lágbájá gbé wọ́n á ní kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wá ẹni tí ò tí ì jẹun tán ní kán kówó wá wọ́n á kó ara lé wọ́n á kó ara oko wọ́n á kó wọn sí ìdààmú ó ní gómìnà wa ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo State ṣe wá wò pé ẹni tó bá ti jíyàn gbé o òun náà kó máa lọ sí
kó lọ sí
because the truth is when it comes to kidnapping, like you mentioned, a lot sometimes lives are lost. So a lot of people have praised this law, especially the state government saying this must stand. But we have a lot of people in support and a lot of people are against this death sentence because people believe that it's not as if it's a new law. It is something that has been known. But our governments, especially the governors, find it difficult signing this death sentence. Death warrant. If you remember, not the last that happened, it's around 2016. That will be Oshomole who permitted it. Why is it so difficult when it comes to signing death warrants? It's a good thing that the Ondo State Board, are we sure? Some are already saying it's just a mere word, that it may not work because governments don't sign.
Well, one thing is there is difference between enactment of law, there is difference between executing the law itself. Yeah, it's possible that the law is not new. We have kidnapping laws before now. The only difference now is that in the time past is in two ways. One, if you kidnap without killing the victim, life imprisonment. But if there is loss of life when you kidnap, death penalty. But now the governor, now you have become a murder case. But when you kidnap, you have not killed the suspect, they presume that, okay, you should be given life imprisonment instead of death penalty because the victim is still alive. But now the governor is now saying,
Whether the victim
life,
dies or not.
victim died,
When as much
you
as
go
you
for
kidnap.
it. Yes, you go for it. But the problem now is that, yes, the judges, they are doing their own part because the judges cannot do more than to hear the matter, pass the judgment, and if you are found guilty of the offense, they give you the highest penalty because most of those laws about capital offense did not give room for opinion. It's a mandatory punishment. Then, if it is mandatory punishment, the judge will have to do his own part. It's left for the executive now, the governor to do, or the president to say, okay, since the court has done their own part, yes, let me sign this warrant. But the question now to come into play is this. One, if the judge convicts at the trial level, at the High Court, Federal High Court. Now, the suspect still has the right of appeal. Then can the governor just so much on because you felt like your citizen has been affected, you felt like, okay, this person is the one that was caught. The question now to ask is that, is it the right person that was caught? Is it the right person that was prosecuted? Yes, the judge will not be there at the investigation level.
According to the
Yes,
evidence
the evidence before the judge will only go give judgment based on what is being presented before the court. And what about the victim? The victim, is he intelligent enough? The victim, is he at the right moment, at the right sense, when he was being prosecuted, to even say the true position of what really happened? So that we not just execute the innocent person.
I guess these are bottlenecks that are actually preventing
Yes, that's why some of the governors are saying, okay, if I have to sign this death warrant, assuming that the judge just pass judgment today, that also person committed the offense and the person should be hanged on the net, his life is being denied. Now, immediately the governor went ahead and signed. What of if the person now have right of appeal? He have right of appeal from the Court of Appeal to Supreme Court. Until the Supreme Court now say, yes, what the lower court said is right. Then the governor or the president can say, okay, let me pen my hand on the warrant that this person should.
How many days will that judgment exist before you can say the governor should?
Days, you say?
Thank you. The issue of this now, that's where we have issues. One, the workload. Two, do we have the number of the personnel to even adjudicate on the bench? On those state judiciary, they are on strike because of one reason or the other. There's no money deals, the court environment is not conducive for the staff to work, all those things. Now, for like a week now, the system, the judiciary system is shut down. Now, look at the number of the inmates in the prisons that they will not have opportunity to be prosecuted. Now, can we now calculate the time? Can we calculate the number of days? Then can we now say, okay, the judgment has been passed. One, before you compile the record, do we even have all the facility? Because what we have to look at is that the facility on ground to even make this administration of criminal justice run the way it is. That's why we are talking about autonomy left and right and nobody is listening to anybody. And once the money is not coming, there's no facility for us to even put the administration of criminal justice into play. Then we are not there. We are not there.
And why can't you advise the government as a lawyer?
There's a
that
difference.
The government should look at another sector, like creating another court for criminal cases.
Okay, thank you, sir. In Ondo State, we have criminal courts. If you go to Olokuta High Court, most matters in Olokuta High Court is criminal. If you go to High Court Complex, High Court 7, High Court, now High Court 5, now High Court 6, and other like that was created for criminal matter. It's just of recent that everything now is being disseminated back to other jurisdiction, that wherever the matter occur, then the matter should be prosecuted by the order of the CJ last year around May. Now, if we are having that, we have criminal court. We have them. But the problem is that we have more hands.
We have criminal court that their job is to look at the criminal cases.
Yes, sir.
Then why this bureaucracy?
Thank you,
Why
sir.
this bottlenecks?
The issue is that, one, there are matters ordinarily that should have been settled at the police station. But out of selfish interest, or who the person I know that know the person I know, the matter moved from police station that are not supposed to even get to magistrate court. We have them at the magistrate court. The charge that was brought before the magistrate does not have jurisdiction. The magistrate have to just remand the person in the custody. You are waiting for legal advice for Ministry of Justice. The law is there, it says 21 days. That's just behind joke. 21 days is, I've never seen where, except the one that government is involved in having interest. There is no way I've ever seen 21 days legal advice.
Okay, let's go. Let me take you back to this execution of criminals. You know, you mentioned the fact that they have right to appeal. Let's take it that appeal has been done, that has gone into the Supreme, and the Supreme still says this offense is a capital one, and that this person must be executed for it. Let me ask you, as a lawyer, do you support the fact that capital punishment should be given if after due process?
Well, for me, I will put it in one Yoruba balance that say, "Ìka tó bá ti ṣẹ̀, òun ni ọba ń gé." Once you have exhausted all your rights, and that right has reached the dead point, yes, we are talking about fundamental right, but for every right there's limitation. It's just that I'm sitting down here because I have right of speech. I should just walk him into the governor's office. I started holding his chest, trying to fight. I've gone beyond my right. There's also limitation to our right, and once you have violated what the law has you not to do, then let the punishment speak. And why we are having problem in our society today is because, one, we have believed that at worst, by the time I spent 20 years, I will still come out now. They will not sign it. But if, yes, we are still very little, the days of Anini and others, I think those things were being curbed, and people were afraid of,
We will execute you.
don't go and face God, and don't go and do this and that, and mere seeing it on TV. Yet when we are growing up, we see those things on TV, we are like, oh, this thing is not right.
Òfin tí a ṣe gbèdé, ṣé ẹ rò pé òfin yẹn ṣó lè rí ìnáwó pẹ̀lú gbogbo nǹkan tó wà?
Òfin ti ń rìnà ti pẹ́.
Ṣé lè báyìí ṣó lè dáná?
Ẹ ṣe òfin ó dúró sójú kan. Ẹni tó ṣe ló mú dání. Ó dàbí ẹni tó mú tọ́ọ̀ṣì dání tó wà nínú òkú. Ṣùgbọ́n òun ló mú dání, òun ló mú tọ́ọ̀ṣì dání. Tó bá fẹ́ rìnà, ọwọ́ ẹ̀ ló wà. Tí ò bá fẹ́ kó tóun ò bá fẹ́ rìnà, tí ò bá fẹ́ kúrò ní òkùnkùn, ọwọ́ ẹ̀ náà ló ṣe kíni, ọwọ́ ẹ̀ ló wà.
But if you talk like this, we believe so much in the law. We are a country that believe in the judicial system, even though at some point we feel it doesn't go well with us. And with people like this, talking about armed robbers, kidnappers, murderers, when after judgment, after due process, like you've said, and eventually they are committed to life imprisonment, or no, they are given death sentence, and then they refuse to sign, or we just feel okay, like they believe that what would you just say should be? I want to beg as time goes on, some even get pardoned.
Definitely.
You know, how would this serve as deterrent to others? Will it not be breeding more criminals, believing that after all they won't sign? You know.
Well, for me, I believe that, like I said, that the last person that did it is Adam Oshoma. Now he's at the Senate level, and I believe he's part of the committee. Then, if he can do that in the time past, I think he should be able to do something about it now. We are not saying every one of them should be executed in a day. But once you see that one or two is being sanctioned, everybody will couple themselves. We are using our resources to feed these people. As of today, we are having 81,011 inmates, awaiting trial 53,000 plus, condemned 3,000 plus, and we have to feed them.
And we taxpayers' money.
And the funniest part is that once someone is being condemned, you have to feed that person more than the main inmate that is awaiting trial.
Why so?
Because his life now is at the means of heaven and earth.
So you want to feed him very
So
well.
you have to make him comfortable.
You make him comfortable
To die.
because he won't die. So at my own expense, the innocent citizen that you're taking the tax is my
Money from
to
to
feed
feed.
a condemned criminal.
Yes.
None.
And our system did not even encourage those people to even do other work, to even for government to even benefit from them.
So how do we
Now,
how do we draw the line here?
Governor no gree sign.
The person with the chop they go.
The chop they go. Wetin we fit do?
Well, what
all
I see there is this: the issue is between the federal government. I think the problem lies in the hands of federal government. Why am I saying this? Yes, we have capital offenses. Yes, we have federal offenses. Once, yes, we have some offenses that is major for federal issue, like terrorism and others, it's federal matters.
Okay.
But once, if federal government can make it a law today, that every state, you feed your inmates.
So it's the federal government now that is feeding the
Federal government is feeding every inmate, either state offense or federal offenses. The president should make an order. From today henceforth, governors, if you like, have 1,000 condemned in Lagos, in Ogun State, in the Olokuta here in Ondo State, is your business. One, you see immediately governor will try to, after you exhaust your right, and Supreme Court say, top, that your right is here. He will not waste time to sign. Because he will not want his own allocation to reduce.
And then what as a lawyer, as a barrister, what do you think is holding the hands of these governors?
Well, number one is most of our Africa, Nigeria as a whole, we have this mind of sympathy.
The person that is killing, that is kidnapping, that is robbing.
Even religion backs.
Yes, we have them. We have them in the scripture that said, once you do this, you do this. Once your height, one height, will allow you to make it. He said, you plug it. If it is the two, you plug it so that you know that you don't have anything to
Once
see.
you feed that party,
Yes, you do. But the problem is that when some of them, they are saying their fundamental right is an issue that you cannot just kill them, that because they still have the right, like I said, the right of appeal. And if the right of appeal is not there any longer, what about international community? What about international community? Because international community is the problem that we have most of the
I
time.
wanted to ask.
What they do in their own, in secret, they notice a country that they want to dominate, did something, such thing in open, they criticize. they started mounting prayer that if you do it, we'll remove our sponsors. If you do this, we'll remove this. If you do that, we'll not attend to your needs any longer. And most of us, we believe that without international backing, we cannot do anything.
Yeah, I think the mentality is changing in Africa.
Yes, the mentality is changing in Africa for the country that does not operate democracy.
Exactly.
We have to be virtual.
Because
Is it working? Is it working in the country that democracy is a system? No.
What you said not quite long, what you said about all the other countries, especially the Western world. I remember when this guy, Kim Jong-un, became a president, he was killing at will. Once he noticed that you commit an offense and all that,
I even remember.
Sometimes feed to lion, and nothing.
I even remember when some of the armed officers, the military men, say they are tired, they are this, they are that. He took them to a site, thinking that they went to inspect, and they're there. He said, once you are an officer, you are tired. It means you need to go and rest. And he put them to rest.
By force? We are talking about human rights. Those people that are killed, don't they have rights?
Because their own law has specified that you must not do this.
So are we not?
I ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
That what are the reasons?
That's why I said, some of them will say they are fundamental right.
No, after
all those rights. Yes.
All these,
they said they don't want to have another person's blood on their hands. Ogun State governor said something like that. Even the River State governor that was suspended, the spokesperson said, governor said, I cannot kill another person because of this. And most of them, they are saying, I will really sign death warrant for the real criminal or the innocent one.
But the court has proved it.
Thank you, sir.
You are not a criminal until it's been
proved.
Thank
you, sir.
So we also know that, when it comes to this point now, we also know that lawyers, apology for that. A lot of people believe we have fake lawyers out there who are out to just make money. That once money exchange hands and you're able to pay big, they will defend even a criminal to make that person innocent. And sometimes innocent people becomes criminal and then they go for it. So if you say that they are lying, what if they are still innocent? Is it not a fault on our judicial system?
I will not put blame on judicial system. Reason being that a judge will not go out there to do investigation. A judge will never go out there to conduct investigation. The only where the issue started from is from the arresting officers. It is only Nigeria that it is at the point of arrest you start your investigation. In modern world, investigation would have been concluded before they pick you up. So that by the time they are giving you documents, showing you evidence, pictorial evidence, you'll not be able to deny. The only people I can give kudos to most of the time, maybe FCC, DSS, and others. Before you are being picked up by those ones, by those agencies, they have their document intact. By the time they are showing you this, once you give defense today, they will even grant you bail to go home. By the next time you come back, that same question that you have asked or answered, they will ask you again.
Can the investigation?
Yes.
Now, my barrister, this new law in courts, are we sure it's going to work for the citizen?
Especially if we look at the economic aspect of it, which we mentioned earlier, the fact that I am innocent. I work for my money, and then taxes are being taken. Someone who robbed, who killed, who maimed is feeding fat on my tax that I'm paying. Don't you think that something needs to be done in that area. The economy, you mentioned something earlier that the work is with the federal government. That the moment the states they make a law that states should feed their inmates, maybe that will make the governors sit up. Do you think it will work in this regard?
Yes, it will. The issue is this.
Because as of those states worker, we are still paying tax here as well.
Yes. The issue is this. Apart from budget, there is other subvention that is coming to each state. And although state is blessed
Which way?
more than some other states, we are part of oil producing states.
Yes.
And based on that, it will definitely work. We have one of our agency now that when you get to their court, they give them special court.
Mm.
When you get to their court, especially maybe on Fridays or Mondays, that they brought a lot of suspects. All of them will be arraigned, either they are arraigned for kidnapping, armed robbery, a lot like that. And at the end of the day, if we have 10 suspects arraigned for such offenses, I can assure you that hardly would they be able to prove 3 or 2.
What do you mean?
Also,
Because some of them that were arrested, that they claim that's the offense, it's a different offense entirely. It's a different offense entirely. And the funniest part is that because the magistrate does not have jurisdiction to entertain the charge, we have to remand. First month, second month, ordinarily 21 days for legal advice. The suspect will be in the custody, federal government will be feeding on the taxpayers' money, and the state governors will be moving all around.
are you now saying that our law enforcement agencies they are not doing due diligence?
Yes. Yes. Because there are some charge that there are crock-ups charge against some. That's why I say sometimes most of the charging may be out of selfish interest or the other way around.
Yes, you said they are not diligent.
They are not
diligent. Diligent, okay.
I'm not
Now,
saying that.
how do we make it to become diligent? Because of this new law, I'm not saying it's new, abstractly.
Yes, but at least
It must work.
Thank
And
you, sir.
you have told us, you have succeeded in telling us now that these criminals are feeding
facts.
fat on the people that are working. Who
Thank
doesn't
you, sir.
commit all
Before
this?
you answer, let me also add this. We know, say for Western world, before anybody is arrested, they must have done
Oh, the
investigation.
homework. Not like our own.
Before they say they are picking you up, they have all the facts, all the evidence, everything. They will be in the Western world. They will monitor for months. If you are a suspect, they will monitor you for months. Sometimes years.
Before they will
They
even
will even
arrest.
say arrest and put in detention for that. What are we getting back?
Thank you. We have administration of criminal justice law in Ondo State. The first question to ask is that, are we putting that law into place? Now,
You are the lawyer who should ask you.
yes, well, the issue is this. Once you are being appointed to a position, you should be able to have free will to operate in that office. But once you are being appointed to an office and there is a directive from someone that if you go beyond this, I'll punish you, I'll transfer you to somewhere, those things will make you not to. You just, I don't want anything, anybody to take me to inside bush. I want to remain in wherever I am. Okay, remand. There are some of the law in administration of criminal justice that says that once you feel like this matter is the one that magistrate does not have jurisdiction, you forward the case file directly to the office of the DPP, Director of Public Prosecution, for them to do the needful immediately,
to reassign.
for them to issue out legal advice or to charge the person before the proper court. They will not do that. The only thing they will do is that they will bring remand application. They will even put it to some extent, the fullest part, to make our system even look worse. That the person should be remanded for further investigation.
So what are you lawyers doing about this?
Sir, it is a difference between when you are a lawyer that you said, okay, you make noise this, you do this, and you write a lot of things. Sometimes they see you as if you are against them, not to even develop the society. And when you write, they said, you want to take my job away from me. See now, they are writing petition against me. And at the end of the day, where are we going to?
So it has become a case of if you can't beat them, you join them.
It's not all of us that can join them. You
Then
do
what
your
do
own
you
part.
do about all this bottleneck of it? Bottleneck of
What?
it? This new law must work.
This new law must work.
So how do you make it work?
And this is the way to make it. To my own, I believe this is how we can make it work.
I am working, you are deducting my tax, and you are feeding somebody who is killing
I've made mention that, one, all the security agencies, they should come together. They should have meetings. Once this offense you discover is this: capital, kidnapping, armed robbery. We don't need to waste time by assuming without considering that the person that you even pick for armed robbery is not the main person. And now you remand the person in prison for months. You and I know that. You now become a student of so many experience. Even when it's coming out, it will now become more hardened than what you thought. There is a magistrate I always appreciate. He always say that I don't believe in remanding a suspect for months. But once you remand someone for 2 weeks, you will have learned that that place is not conducive. Then tomorrow. But once we are in Africa, we quickly adapt, especially Nigeria. Whatsoever that happened to us, first week will be bending bodies, second week, the third week, the third week say, I'm alone. You just adjust to it and you pick up life like that. Once I believe is that if our security agency, they can come together, they have meetings, and they believe that before you can send someone to court, finish your investigation. Rough justice is rough justice. You don't need, yes, you don't need to just go and pack someone, you pack multitude, you now put them in cell, you started doing a lot of things without investigation. We have DSS. Send them out to those communities. Let them work together.
Intelligent graduates.
Yes, don't be boss to another person. We are working together to make the country to be better.
Yes.
But when you see yourself, I'm the first establishment, what does that one know? It shows that you does not even know anything, because what you claim that that person does not know may be what will help you to do justice.
Kí la wá lè ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí amòfin tó máa jẹ́ kí àwọn gómìnà wa wọ̀nyí gbọ́kàn kúrò ní pé mo fẹ́ pààyàn, tó máa fọkàn wọn sí wípé ẹni tó ń pààyàn la fẹ́ pa.
Tèmi ni pé tí a bá wò ní nǹkan tí mo sọ lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ni pé tí ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó bá ti yọ ọwọ́ kí là ń kó pé a máa bá yín fún àwọn èèyàn yín tẹ̀ ń kó sọ́gbà ẹ̀wọ̀n lóúnjẹ àkọ́kọ́ tán yọ ọwọ́ wọ̀. Owó ara yín ní ìjọba nípínlẹ̀ yín ẹ máa fi bọ́ àwọn èèyàn yín tẹ́ bá ti kó sí ìyẹn àkọ́kọ́. Ìkejì, tó bá ṣeé ṣe kí ìjọba àpapọ̀ kó ní ìpínlẹ̀ kankan o, ẹ dágbà wọn ti yín sílẹ̀ o, ẹ gba àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ yín síbẹ̀. Àwa náà ẹnu àwọn èèyàn wa tó bá ti wá láti ọ̀dọ̀ wa a máa bójú tó wọn. Ẹ rí i pé eléyìí tí mákàndínlé kó èèyàn mẹ́wàá ẹni tó ń rìn lọ gba míì torí pé à ń wá owó kò jẹ́ ká lè ṣòdodo. Torí pé à ń wá owó kò jẹ́ ká lè ṣòdodo. Gbogbo àwọn kinní wa wọ́n ti di pé owó. Mo lóníbàárà kan lọ ọdún 7 lọ́gbà ẹ̀wọ̀n gbà kan rí. Ọdún 7 tó wà ní rìmáìnì kó tó di pé wọ́n ṣèdájọ́ ìgbà tán lè ṣèdájọ́ òun nìkan láàrin èèyàn márùn-ún òun nìkan àwọn mẹ́rin tó kù níwọ̀n tí ẹ̀ mọ́ rí pé ṣe náà papọ̀ mọ́ wọn wọ́n dẹ̀ papọ̀ mọ́ wọn ní lóòótọ́.
ó dẹ̀ ti lọ ọdún méjì.
ó dẹ̀ ti lọ méjì.
ẹ ṣe irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ò ní gbéjọba lọ sí kóòtù.
ẹ̀rú ìgbà yẹn bá ìgbà tó jáde tá a ti wá ń ṣe kátó pínpín ẹ̀ pé ìlú adúláwọ̀ làwọ̀.
Some people
ìbò sì ní lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àìfọwọ́síwèé ó jẹ mí lógún ní kí ni àwọn ará ìlú tàbí ẹ̀yin amòfin lè ṣe tó lè jẹ́ kí tí gómìnà níwò pé ẹ̀jẹ̀ lè
àwa
torí òfin yìí ẹni tó bá gbé yẹn ló máa mọ̀ lára o.
àwa gẹ́gẹ́ bí amòfin nǹkan tí àwa rò pé a lè ṣe náà ni pé tí ìjọba bá kùnà láti ṣe nǹkan tí ò tọ́ ká gbé wọn lọ ilé ẹjọ́ pé nǹkan báyìí ṣùgbọ́n ṣe mọ̀ pé oníkálukú ló ní gbèdéke agbára tí òfin fún gómìnà adájọ́ àgbà l'Ondo state kò lè lọ bá pé kí ló dé tó ṣe nǹkan báyìí because òun ni òfin fún ní agbára láti buwọ́lù.
àlefagbára mú.
ẹ lè sọ pé tìpátìkùkù máa fòkùn fún ẹ lọ́rùn ṣùgbọ́n tí a bá fẹ́ bí gómìnà wa ṣe sọ pé ókè o ẹni tó bá jíyàn gbé pípa ní kápá ohun tó ṣe wọ́n ní ká sọ̀rọ̀ ká bà bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní òun ní ìyá ọmọlúàbí bí gómìnà wa bá fẹ́ fi wọn àwọn ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo state pé nǹkan tí mo sọ yìí o ẹ máa bà bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá ti lélẹ̀ tán ṣe láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ títí tó fi dókè tọ́dẹ̀ ti sọ pé ẹni lóòótọ́ ó jẹ̀bi ẹ̀sùn ó buwọ́lù bóyá wàhálà ẹni wọ́n gbé lágbájá ọ̀la wọ́n gbé làkàṣègbè bóyá àṣekìlì àdínkù ẹni tá a rí lórí ìlànà àmẹ́tẹ̀ ẹni tó ń bọ̀.
We talked about this before. You mentioned this, the international human rights, especially the Nigerian International Human Rights Commitment Group. That's like the Amnesty International and the UN. They've consistently, called on Nigeria to abolish or place a moratorium on executions. But some opponents argue that the death penalty is outdated and that and out of step with global human rights progress. How does the legal system address this human rights concerns raised by Amnesty International?
Well, for us, we have tried to see the other way that we can diversify. If we are saying death penalty should be removed from our laws, and we should channel it to another part. On our part, we believe that if we are to abolish death penalty, then how is people out there are going to feel that there is a law, there's something that you must not do? In the ancient past, when you commit an offense, they said you should go to that forest. You come back, you didn't come back, nobody knows.
It's your business.
It's your business. Then people there will be afraid.
Because they don't want to go into the dark
because
forest.
they don't want to go into the dark forest. But now, if we are saying, okay, we should remove death penalty because of international community, must we be controlled by external body?
Good question.
That's another question.
That's why I said the country that knows their worth will stand on their feet.
But you further mentioned that they may remove all their the connections.
That's why I said the country that knows their worth, they will remain on their feet. Sir, ọmọ tẹ́ ń bọ̀ kò lè máa pàṣẹ fún yín o. Now, if you are taking our own resources from us and you are still controlling us,
the answer is frozen.
because the people that they are bragging, the people that are saying we remove our hands, are they really feeding us? Are they really feeding us?
Well, we have
Or they are taking what we have to still
all the
control us.
amenities,
All the social mineral resources that we have, and if we said, okay, like Ondo State said today, okay, oh, now in Ondo State, Mr. President, sir, in Ondo State, we will not allow any foreign person to control Ondo State again. We want to oversee this, and we want to have it. And if the governor, if the president said, do you have power to show that? We say, yes, we have power to show that. Just be giving us our allocation, no problem. We put facilities together, and whatsoever we have in Ondo State, we want to run it in Ondo State. Even though we are clamoring for regional restructure whatsoever. Yes. If we start doing that, so some people started it, and the people that have benefited from it, they are the one killing what they benefited from.
Okay. Ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé ní ọ̀pọ̀ ìgbà àwọn tí wọ́n mú ó lè má jẹ́ àwọn tí wọ́n mú. Kí la wá ṣe lè báwo la ọ̀nà wo là ń tọ̀ láti mọ̀ pé ẹni gangan tí wọ́n.
Ẹ ṣe òun ni mo ṣe sọ pé tá a bá ṣe ìwádìí tó jinlẹ̀ tó múnádóko, ṣé ẹ rí èèyàn méjì ò lè máa bára wọn rìn kán má mọ̀ ìwà ara wọn. Ará alẹ́ ẹ̀ ń jáde láago kan kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe ọlọ́dẹ àdúgbò.
Irúṣẹ́ wo ló ń ṣe?
Ẹ̀dẹ̀ béèrè pé irúṣẹ́ wo ló ń ṣe.
Bóyá nọ́ọ̀sì ni tó fẹ́ lọ gbọ́ṣẹ́ nílùú.
Bàbá tí ò dáhùn kọ́.
Tẹ́ bá bí tí ò dáhùn, ibẹ̀ lọ̀rọ̀ ẹ ti gbà fúnra sí. Tí wọ́n gbà tẹ́ bá mú yàn lójú ẹsẹ̀, bóyá ẹ kàn déédéé rí àwọn èèyàn, lóòótọ́ wọ́n lè sọ pé ọ̀nà oko náà ti jí àwọn èèyàn yẹn gbé o, a kàn déédéé da àwọn èèyàn sí ọ̀nà oko, àwa rí èèyàn tó má dáadáa ní tó ṣe adédéwọ̀bẹ̀, a kó gbogbo àwọn tó wà lọ́nà oko, a kó wọn ẹ wá kó wọn dé àgọ́ yín. Ó yẹ kẹ́ kọ́kọ́ ẹ ní láti kó wọn pa, ẹ béèrè àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn, àwọn nǹkan bẹ́yẹn kì í ṣe pé ẹni tẹ́ fẹ́ béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ kọ́kọ́ filẹ̀ síbẹ̀ fún ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, èmi ti pa nǹkan tí òyà sọ pé òun ṣe o kó kàn ṣáàlì.
Nǹkan tẹ̀sán ló máa mú mi béèrè the next question, which has to do with psychological and the moral concerns. Some critics have said that, argue that capital punishment is a state-sanctioned killing, and that it is morally wrong to take life, even when justified by law. They believe in rehabilitation and, of course, retribution. Will you say prolonged death row incarceration amounts to psychological torture? It's not signing, not putting the government's appending their signature.
To me, I can say it's a psychological torture. Because once you are in a position, and if you visit the correctional centers, especially most of the maximum and other correctional centers, you see that the condemned, they are separated from the inmates, normal inmate that has been given some years imprisonment or awaiting trials. And if you look at, I think I've once visited that area when I was in Jos, and being in a dire environment wholly, in that one environment only, not going out, not doing this, not having, yes, they talk to themselves, only themselves. That only can make you to have one, brain torture, and can make you to lost your mind. I have a client, without mentioning it, now he's having a mental problem. Because, yes, he has been there for
very long
years.
time.
Then, because you start thinking, start ruminating, when are they going to sign? Is he going to even sign? Is he not going to sign? And
Not
when
alone is torture.
yes, and when you get there and you see that someone is telling you that been here for 20 years. They have not signed. And you are just coming for the first time. You are just coming for the first time. The first question you ask is that, if this person is there for 20 years and they have not signed the warrant, what is my name? From there, you start having psychological problems.
Okay, let's now look at the psychological torture to the victims as well. Okay, someone that was robbed or kidnapped, and then at the end of the day, the person who, after being certified, the person who is supposed to
Yes.
go for it, get money, and you see the person on the street. How does this give you closure as a victim?
Well, for me, ordinarily, once there is a victim of any crime, that same victim needs rehabilitation. You need to
Even
work.
some of them will even tell you that I will come and meet you.
If there is evidence for such convicts, I believe those are the ones that even the information to quickly get to the government, so that before he will come and meet him, it will be at the feet of Christ.
Say for example, I know rape case is not one of the things we're looking at, but you know this person, that this person raped you. And then the person goes to court and get freed. Isn't that a mental torture for you?
And the
as a
question,
victim?
the question is this: if we are saying I was raped and we went on trial, and at the end of the day, the person is being set free. It's not that the court set the person free, but because the evidence is shallow. And most of the time, this is the problem we have. Someone said, I'm raped. And during the trial, he refused to come to court. Is it the police officer that was raped? You now want judge to be assuming that, yes, someone was raped, and the person is not before the court.
Thank you very much. But I'm being, I want this matter that we are discussing about something
For kidnapping.
for kidnapping. Like mo wà ní oko mi, mo rẹ́ni tó gbàdá, tó dẹ̀ tí mo fẹ́ wọ ní oko mi tó yọ àdá sí mi. Tá bá dẹ̀ dé police station, wọ́n lè ní ó fi ń protect ara ẹ̀. Èmi Yorùbá ò sì lè gbàdá bẹ́ẹ̀. A dẹ̀ fẹ́ mú àwọn wọ̀nyí ká fi wọ́n jófin.
Ìgbà kan rí gómìnà Èkìtì Fáyòsé ó ṣòfin kan gbà kan pé ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí o tó bá fẹ́ dá màálù ẹ lọ rẹ́gísítà ní local government, ẹ ṣe kọ́ báyìí, ẹ ṣe kọ́ báyìí, ẹ dẹ̀ gbúdọ̀ gbé bọn, ẹ gbúdọ̀ gbé nǹkan báyìí. Ó ṣiṣẹ́. Òun ni mo sọ pé òwú bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ni tó ṣòfin.
Ó yẹ káwa náà ṣe nípìnlẹ̀.
Ẹ wá kó sọ́wọ́ gómìnà.
All right, Barrister Ajayi Adetiloye, thank you so much for coming on the program. That will be the size of the show this morning. That will Miss Gray. My
Thank
name
you
is
very
Rumi
much for
Ali.
coming.
Thank you so much.
We enjoy it.
Thank you.
Àti gbàgbà àti gbàtà àti gbàgbòrò àti gbọ̀bàrà ó ti dandan kí ọkọ̀ kó forí balẹ̀ fún èlédìdé tá a bá ń kọ̀wé kan máa sẹ́mi kò lọ á fi full stop fún tọ̀sẹ̀ yìí nìyí o. Káyọ̀dé ló kọ́ tèmi, ọpẹ́ mi pàtàkì lọ́wọ́ pòdúsà wa Fẹ́mi Ayékọ́milọ́gbọ́n àti gbogbo àwọn tó wà nídìí ẹ̀rọ wa pátápátá àti àwọn àlejò wa pátápátá àtàyè tẹ̀ ń wò wá gan ẹ ṣé o tẹ́ ẹ bá wa oníyan ṣe ọlọ́bẹ̀ ṣe àwa tẹ̀sí jẹ́ náà ẹ ṣeun. Káyọ̀dé ló kọ́ tèmi Ọlọ́runfẹ́mi òwe mẹlẹ́bọ àjòjì kẹwọ̀ ire kábíyèsí.
Orúkọ mi ni Remi Allen. We'll meet again next week. Of all the things that we've discussed this morning, whichever one applies to you, please pick it, make good use of it. Bye for now.